But before we get to the subclasses, we'll talk about the Artificer as well. This is the new class. I mean, it was a tier 1 class in 3.5 edition. It looks like it would be here in 5th as well. I mean, just in the base Artificer kit, they have a big spell list. They've got 4 distinct subclasses. They can effectively get magic items at level 2. Being an Artificer is not really something that I would allow unless I knew and trusted the player not to try and, break the game or overshadow the other players. I also had an issue with the Flash of Genius feature that you get at 7th level, because it's described as a reaction and it's specifically used for solutions under pressure, but the most time you would probably use it is when you're dealing with issues that are out of combat, making ability checks or saving throws there. So it's not exactly clear as to whether Flash of Genius relates to combat alone, but that's a small niggle. In terms of the Artificer specialists, you have the Alchemist, which adds buffs and heals by way of potions to your parties, and most of the Artificer spells seem to gel with that. I like the idea of casting Enlarge or Reduce with an experimental flask, and it's kind of got an Alice in Wonderland feel to it. You've got the Armourer, for people who want to work their way up to becoming a fantasy setting Iron Man. What I noticed as well was nothing in the book says that your arcane armor and your infusions don't stack. I don't know, stuff in terms of heavy armor and arcane spells, especially Evocation, it's never really sat right with me, probably because of the arcane spell failure from the edition that I'm more familiar with. But it certainly reinforces the idea that this book handles, fear of character death. If you've got a squishy spellcaster, the first thing you might be tempted to do if you never wanted them to die was stick them in a suit of heavy armor. You've also got the Artillerist, so rather than a glass cannon, you've got a wooden one. The feature allows you to sort of turn back the tide of battles in a really huge way for an hour for every long rest, in a few different ways. It strikes me that it could really impact campaigns that tend to have like one big fight per session, as opposed to the modules that tend to have several little ones. And then the fourth one is the Battlesmith, which gives you martial weapon proficiency, an extra attack, a strong and customizable construct companion, and it avoids multiple ability dependence as long as you use your infusion on your own weapon. I don't think I'd even let a player I trust play that subclass.